Recently, there was an invasion by Hamas, the Organization of Palestinian Liberation, which is designated as a terrorist organization by several countries in the world. However, this attack has attracted a lot of dissections, lot of detailings over the Indo-Israeli relations. But one aspect which largely goes unnoticed, that is the government of India's highly inclined relations towards the Palestine and its cause of liberation. So hello everybody, a very good evening and welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. My name is Abhishek Singh, and in this lecture today, in front of all of you, I will be giving you an overview of the India's relations with Palestine since the establishment of Israel. So let's get started without any further delay. I think all of you must be able to see this map just behind me. This map actually shows the current position of Palestine, which is shown in the orangish red color, whereas the green part indicates the location and the areas of Israel. But the thing was that things were quite different in 1947 when the two countries, they came to the existence in the name of a separate religious identity. Yes, you guessed it right. One was Pakistan in the southern Asia, in the Indian subcontinent, which was bifurcated out of India, and the other one, that was Israel. Israel was established as a home state to the Jews who were persecuted in large numbers, vehemently, by the German autocrat, German dictator Adolf Hitler. So there was a global sense of sentimental attachment along with the Jews. Therefore, most often, the world sees these two countries, Pakistan and Israel, quite differently. So we will try to observe that what are the conditions which dominated the Indo-Palestinian relations, what have been the instances where the government of India went out of its way to help Palestine in their so-called cause of liberation, and why has there been a recent shift in the stance of government of India towards Israel. So we will look after all these topics in a very comprehensive manner. So let's get started. But before proceeding further, let me tell you that if you want this particular content or any of the content related to my classes, you can join my Telegram channel, and also make it sure that if you are a new aspirant who is looking forward to start the preparation, this might be at any stage. If you are an absolute beginner, you can opt for our 42 months program called as the Platinum, P2I Platinum. Or if you are a student in final year or someone who has taken a break of 1.5 years or 2 years to crack this examination, then you can opt for our Silver plan. So these are basically the variable duration plans under the common name of Prelims to Interview batch, that is P2I. These will be like a one-stop solution for all of your needs related to the civil services examination. And whether we talk about the handwritten notes, or we talk about the dedicated books exclusively for the examination, or unique methodology to prepare for a holistic syllabus, then after that dedicated prelims preparation, dedicated mains preparation, all of these things are the part of it. But the most outstanding feature that is everybody should be aware of, that we also provide the mains residential program, which is a special feature where if a student qualifies the preliminary stage as a student of our P2I batch, then we provide them the opportunity to come and stay here in Delhi at our campus to attend the classes like an offline center, to get all the facilities and support till the examination is over. So that's like once in a lifetime type of opportunity where you don't have to pay anything extra for residential coaching. All right, so I think everybody must pay attention to this program. In case if you are willing to take admission, do not forget to use my code ASR live. Okay, that will be absolutely great. And why so? Because in this particular session, I think it's very easy to understand the significance, because we are going to discuss each and every aspect of the topic in very much detail. So just behind me, you are able to see the scenes of rocket attacks. In fact, it was just recently on the 7th of October morning, 6:30 a.m. A barrage of the rockets, almost 5,000 rockets were launched by Hamas, the Palestinian organization, which is designated as a terrorist organization by leading countries of the world, particularly the Western and European bloc. They attacked Israel, and in fact, that attack was also designated as a failure of probably the most intelligence agency, that's Mossad. However, the question arises that within 8 and 9 hours, I would say, within 8 to 9 hours, the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, he tweeted in the favor of Israel and condemned these attacks as the form of terrorism, and he assured Israel that he will not be supporting any type of terrorism, or they are both together in this fight. Now, this was quite a literal shift in the official strategy, official position of India in the Israel and Palestine dispute. Till today, India has maintained the, you can say, balanced position, where India always recommended a two-nation solution, a two-state theory, to support the cause of Palestine as well as a just cause of the Jews, Israel. In fact, we all might be aware that every particular country treats the other country as per their own interests and benefits. It is always the self before the others in the international relations. India, has it done right to choose the side of Israel? Has it done the wrong by choosing the side of Palestine? It is a matter which is to be answered in the upcoming period. However, when we talk about the features such as the relations between India and Palestine, now let me tell you that even the Congress party, which is the primary opposition party at the moment, they also lamented the government against this stance shift, because they cited the examples of Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the former PM of India, as well as the former prime ministers like PV Narasimha Rao, or former PM like Indira Gandhi. All of them, they all had maintained a status slightly in the favor of Palestine. However, the issue is that when we talk about this particular matter, try to understand that basically India, it was not even in the favor of creation of Israel in the early years. In fact, when we talk about the Indo-Palestinian relations, actually we can categorize it into two different parts. Let me tell you which are those two different parts. In fact, when we talk about the relations, so it is like pre-1992 and post-1992. Why 1992 is so crucial? Because in the 1992, it was the year of the formal diplomatic relations with Israel, right, with Israel's government. The formal diplomatic relations of government of India with Israel. But before that, we had a very cordial relation with Palestine. All right. So that indicates that India had a shift inclination towards the Palestinian country because of the several reasons. There are several instances, for example, like when the Palestine Liberation Organization that was founded in 1964, and later on in 1969, the legendary Yasser Arafat became the leader of this organization. This organization actually believed in the non-violent struggle against the occupation or forceful establishment of the Israeli state in the Arabic region. However, this can be said that probably the Palestine, it had decided to observe the non-violent methods only after the Arab-Israel war. However, since it declared its favor into the side of non-violence, India, the government of India became the first non-Arab country to give the recognition to the Palestine Liberation Organization. All right, everyone. So this Palestine Liberation Organization, that was given the recognition for the first time by any non-Arab country, and that country was India. That country was in 1970. Similarly, in 1988, India also recognized the Palestinian state. That means it properly recognized the Palestine as a nation, as a state, as an official political unit. That was itself a big step. Why so? Because again, it was a very unprecedented for any non-Arab country to do so. In 1996, what happened? India opened its representative office in Gaza. That was later on shifted to Ramallah. Got it? In fact, apart from that, if we talk about it, apart from that, what happened? India was also one of those few countries which were supporting the cause of Palestine in every major international stage. What was the reason behind it? Why was India so much inclined towards the Palestine? There were several reasons. In fact, we can note down few reasons to understand it. Number one, basically, India itself was a victim of the religious partition of the country. So when the United Nations proposed on the behest of the Britain that they would be establishing a separate Jew homeland in the Palestinian region, India naturally found it the similar condition where the Muslims of the Indian subcontinent, they were assigned a separate homeland, the so-called separate homeland in the name of Pakistan. So India was like a victim of the partition in the name of religion. That's why they sympathized with Palestine and their leaders. Second reason could be that basically domestic politics was also a major factor in determining the role of India in the Palestine issue. India, which is the home to probably the second largest population of followers of Islam in the entire world. At that time also, particularly the Islamic followers who had left into the country, who had remained into the country, they were under very sensitive circumstances. So government never tried to enrage them on any issue. And naturally, it was very, very natural that the Mohammedans in that particular period, they supported the demands of the Arab, particularly the Palestine and its establishment. So government of India, number one, on the political basis, ideological basis. Number two, even on the basis of the religion, you can say under the pressure of vote bank, it was bound to support the Palestinian demands. Apart from that, the Cold War, it was a big reason. Why? See, Israel was basically the brainchild of the capitalist bloc led by the United States and United Kingdom. Had they desired, had they thought to give the shelter to the Jews even in their own areas, in their own land, they could have easily done that. Since they decided to make a solid base station in the Middle East, which was not in the form of Saudi Arab back then, because it was not very much friendly towards the capitalist bloc in 1950s or 1940s as such. However, Israel, that was thought to be the base station of the Western bloc in the Middle East, and therefore they insisted upon this demand of the Jewish community, who declared that this land of Jerusalem is their ancestral, is their mythological, and their scriptural land, which was obviously true. It was not a false claim as such, but yes, it was like a little bit outrageous claim because since hundreds of years, the Palestinian Arabs, they were living in the same land and they resisted it quite obviously. They were not ready to accommodate any Jews on their land, right? One can say that Jews had the moral high because they were persecuted community, probably the most persecuted, most exploited community in the world, who were just asking for a little bit of homeland as their scriptures. They suggested that this land of Jerusalem was their home. However, it was quite impractical on the parts of Palestine. The Arabs who were living in that area since hundreds of years, they thought it as an aggression, as an incursion, and in fact, the encroachment of the land. Therefore, they never allowed, they never liked the establishment of Israel. But India, as I told you, under the vote bank pressure, as well as under the political ideological pressure, as well as under the pressure of the Cold War politics, where the Israel, it was defended by US and UK and other Western countries. So naturally, USSR, that is the Soviet Union of Russia, that is basically, they took the sides of Palestine. And India, despite being a declared non-alignment country, it was, no, everybody knows that it was inclined towards USSR. And therefore, they chose the side of Palestine. Got it, everyone? However, there are few more reasons due to which India supported Palestinians in the initial phase of their relations. It is because that India, it was a highly, highly in the lack of, dependable fuel options. India had a great manufacturing dream, a great industrial dream, which was possible to sustain only on the fuel that would be provided by the Arab nations. Yes, it's true, of course, that by this time, Arab nations were not as rich as they are at present, but definitely they had a huge stake in the global energy equation since 1950s and continued to 60s, 70s, and even till the very recent time. So, oil diplomacy, apart from the oil diplomacy, the one more reason that could be, it was basically the demographic and cultural factors. You see, basically the Indian Muhammadans, they used to visit Makkah and Medina basically for the Hajj. Apart from that, thousands of Indian workers, they used to reside in the Middle Eastern countries, particularly the Saudi Arab or UAE, right, or Oman, such countries. And in that particular era, all the Arab countries, they were united against Israel. So therefore, it was very natural that in order to secure the commercial benefits, in order to secure the demographic safety, the popular safety of the Indian workers, in order to ensure the continuation of monetary benefits, financial benefits, what was the most significant requirement for India? It was to support the cause of Palestine. So therefore, India chose, in the interest of our own, to support the Palestine cause. However, if we talk about such aspects, we can understand very clearly that even though India declared that it is a non-alignment country, however, we all are aware that this USSR and some of the Eastern European countries, which were the bloc of socialist, India was very close to that socialist bloc. Got it? In fact, all the important countries in the Middle East, apart from Saudi Arab, even they were also close to the USSR. So it was very natural for India to support the Arab world, the Palestine, and their demand. However, in 1992, we all are aware that in the year 1991, there was an unprecedented change. 1991 saw the decline of USSR. It also was preceded by the fall of Berlin Wall, and apart from that, it was also adjoined with the acceptance of the liberalization, privatization, and globalization by India. So, as I told you in the very beginning, that any particular international relation is always dominated by the self-interest before the interest of anything else. So, India, which was facing the economic difficulties, it had to open up the economy and allow the liberalization, privatization, and globalization into the economy of India, which was the direct acceptance of the Western economic principle based upon the capitalism, which was direct alteration of the India's policies, and it was like going in the reverse against the policies of USSR. However, USSR itself could not sustain for long, and it got decimated completely, resulting into the formation of 15 independent countries. So ultimately, now USSR was no more a superpower. It was simply Russia, a high middle income country at that moment, which eventually faded down. Right? So India had no other option apart from accepting and embracing the existence of Israel in 1992. Okay, everyone? So I hope that everybody got a clear idea that basically it was the immediate requirement of India to establish the relations with Israel on the diplomatic grounds. Got it, everyone? However, Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, he had maintained a very dignified position where, on the one hand, he was supporting the establishment of diplomatic relations, formal diplomatic channels with Israel. But on the other hand, he was also vocally supporting the cause of Palestine on the international front. So this actually resulted into the basic formation of India's balanced approach towards this issue. All right. Now, when we talk about the continuation of India's moral support and strategic support to the cause of Palestine, we can say that there might be several reasons, right? And what could be those reasons as such? Guys, when we say that the reasons, they were still largely the same, but the different reasons, they had emerged out of the conditions which shifted after 1990, due to which India, on several occasions, it chose to favor the Palestinian cause at the cost of the benefit of Israel. We must, praise Israel that in last 30 years of our diplomatic relations, they have, despite the several setbacks by the government of India on the international fronts, Israel have maintained a consistency in supporting the government of India on peculiar points, on very specific occasions. Got it? In fact, for example, you can see the major incidents in the Indo-Palestine relations after 1992, and you will observe that India favored the Oslo Accord and Palestinian Authority. So what is this Oslo Accord and Palestinian Authority? Basically, in the Oslo Accord, what happened? Norway, Israel, and Palestine, they all entered into accord. Norway actually intermediated it, and after this mediation, Israel and Palestine, they accepted that the Palestine should be getting an opportunity to establish the Palestinian Authority, which would be managing the Gaza Strip area for 5 years. And at the end of 5 years, in the year 1998, there was a resolution brought by India. Yes, you heard it right. India was the co-sponsor of the resolution, which was brought to support the right of Palestine to self-determination in the United Nations General Assembly. And that was probably the height of India's favor to Palestine. In fact, even in that time, in 1998 also, the Prime Minister of Israel was none other than Benjamin Netanyahu. And the Prime Minister of India at that moment, it was basically led by the NDA government under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So we can say that probably it did not matter that which party was in the center. What mattered that the consistency of India's strategic position with respect to the diplomatic relations with Palestine, that was in the stronger side as compared to the India's relations with Israel. Not only that, India on several more occasions supported the similar drafts related to the freedom and determination of the self-rights by Palestinians. Right, everyone? For example, even in 2003 also, there was a resolution brought in the United Nations General Assembly to make it against the construction of a wall at Gaza by Israeli armies, and under the international pressure, Israel had to stop that construction of the wall in Gaza, and even that was also supported by government of India. Not only that, in 2003, even in 2011 also, government of India supported the full membership status of Palestine in the UNESCO, right? Apart from that, when Palestine was granted the non-member observer status in the United Nations, India was in the favor of that resolution as well. India also supported the Cairo Conference on Palestine. What is Cairo Conference on Palestine? Cairo Conference was basically held in 2014, where Palestine was given the right to reconstruct the Gaza Strip area, and several projects and several international aid, they were provided to the Palestinian government, caretaker government, and Israel had to accept that. Even in that favor, India had also led the resolution at the Bandung conference, which was to commemorate the 60th anniversary, of the first Afro-Asian convention at Bandung in 1955. So this was the occasion where Asian and African countries, you can say probably these countries were the ones which led the formation of non-alignment movement. So these countries were actually reunited or re-established once again into the Bandung conference, where India reiterated the support in the favor of the cause of Palestine. And remember, in 2015, this event was organized when our NDA government, our country was having NDA government, right? Similarly, when we talk about some more events, like government of India also supported the establishment of the Palestinian flag at the UN campus in 2015. Not only that, the first ever visit of Indian president to Palestine, that came in 2015. The first ever visit of any Indian prime minister to Palestine, that came in 2018. And similarly, the establishment of the Joint Commission to maintain a communication channel in the permanent nature between Indian government and Palestinian government, even that was also done recently in 2016. So I hope that these many examples, they have given the enough evidence that the government of India, either under Congress or under the NDA government, does not matter that which party or which alliance is in the power, the government of India's official strategy, that has always been to support the cause of Palestine. However, this is why this statement, which was drafted by Prime Minister of India on Twitter, that was very, you can say, extreme step that was taken by the government. It has never given this outright support to Israel, and that's why it is very unprecedented. In fact, government of India has constantly, it's continuously been supporting the several projects in Palestine. Yes, definitely on the humanitarian grounds, but no matter what or no matter how much humanitarian help or the aid that has been provided by the government of India in Palestine, be it the establishment of Jawaharlal Nehru Central Library by the Vajpayee government in 2000, be it the establishment of the Mahatma Gandhi Student Center cum Library, be it the establishment of the technical centers, right? The technical centers in Palestine in 2015. Not only that, the establishment of Jawaharlal Nehru Secondary School for Boys and Secondary School for Girls in Palestine. That is all done in 2015. In fact, the government also did one more thing, that they actually set up the India-Palestine Center of Excellence, and they allowed the exchange of students also. In fact, government of India provides the scholarship for 200 students, 100 Palestinian student every year, right? And not only that, government of India also supplied the technical aid and assistance for the skill development programs in the Palestinian colleges and universities. Got it, everybody? In fact, the government of India supported to establish the tech park or technological parks in Palestine to generate the employment, right? So it is, you can say that on the grounds of humanity, the government of India, they have provided a huge amount of the help, and the relations with Palestine, they have been always the priority of the government of India. But the biggest question that arises, that what has led to the shift of the government of India's stance in this matter? What is the reason behind it? So basically, when we talk about the reasons behind it, remember that the most important factor, this could be that the geopolitical status of Palestine and Israel with respect to India, it has changed considerably. There is a drastic change. So what are the other factors, or what are the exact factors leading to this drastic change? Guys, first of all, when we talk about the important factors of the depletion of the Palestinian and India relations, the most important reason is the end of the World War. That basically led to the establishment of Palestine. Similarly, when we say the end of the Cold War, so World War, that had led to the establishment of Israel, and the end of the Cold War, that led to the proliferation of Israel. Okay, proliferation of Israel. So this is one of the biggest reason, because in the unipolar world, India cannot stay away from the friendly relations with United States, and if we are supposed to have the friendly relations with US, we must be in the favor of a certain pinpoints, like the relations with Israel, that would also be defining, because in the United States, the Jews, they are in a very dominant position as far as the industrial wealth is concerned. So maintaining a good relation with Israel, that is also necessary, because the Jews are amongst the leading most community in the world when it comes to the number of, or the ratio of the billionaires according to the population. When it comes to some of the biggest business tycoons in the United States or in the Europe, they are happen to be the Jews. And all the Jews of the world, Israel accords the, by default, it accords a default citizenship to all the Jews. They can ask for the shelter, they can live in Israel at any point of their life. So ultimately it becomes like a great opportunity for India, that if it wants the great deal of investment it must take care of the Israel and its relations. Very similar to the requirement of oil. But the question arises that what will happen to the oil? Will it not be required anymore? Yes, of course it is required, but since India has become such a huge purchaser of oil that any country would love to sell in this much of quantity, ignoring the strategic relations with any other country, any third party. So the Indian market itself has grown so much huge. Similarly, the rise of Israel as a reliable defense partner that has also made a major role. In fact, if I talk about the Israel's rise as a major defense partner, try to understand that uh, Israel is basically having a great deal of strategies to help India in various occasions. In fact, let me tell you, not just that, Israel has also helped India in the 1999 Kargil war, where it had provided the ammunitions as well as the night vision goggles. Apart from that, Israel had also ensured to provide the gun detecting radars, which was not at the helm of India at that moment. Apart from Israel, no other country they had thought to help India directly in the military equipments, right? Apart from that, Israel was that country, apart from France and Russia, which had not put any implications or any sort of restrictions on Indian economy or Indian exchanges after the 1998 Pokhran nuclear test. In fact, recently, if we talk about the relations of India with Israel, India also took care of the relations, mainly because India has emerged as one of the largest clients of the Israeli defense equipment. So we have constantly seen the growth and progress in the defense sector. And apart from that, Israel has been very successful in the normalization of its relations with the Arab world, particularly the Abraham Accords, which were signed in 2020 as the mediation of United States led to the historic accord signed between the Israel and United Arab Emirates or UAE, due to which in the subsequent year, in the next year 2021, there was a I2U2, which is also called as the Western Quad, or the Middle Eastern Quad. Basically, in this I2U2, India, Israel, UAE, and US, these four countries, they established an indomitable alliance, an indomitable strategic partnership, and this brought India further close to Israel. Apart from that, Palestine has not been able to support India when it comes to the similar issues in Jammu and Kashmir province. For example, in all the Indo-Pakistan wars, Palestine has always supported Pakistan morally or through the statements or strategically in all the manners. When it comes to the Palestinian issue, India recognizes the issue of Palestine on the justified logic instead of playing the religious card. But when it comes to the Kashmir issue, Palestine, it plays the religious card where it supports Pakistan only on the ground of being an Islamic nation. And it says that the people living in Jammu and Kashmir, since they are Muslims, so they are having, or Pakistan is having all the right to demand the accession of Kashmir. They forget that if we go by the similar logic, then even the Jews who claim that the ancestral land of the Jews lies in this Israel only, which is currently on the Palestinian land as per Palestine, even they have a justified claim, right? So this strategic failure of Palestine to support India on the Kashmir issue, it was a long debated issue to determine the scope of relations with Palestine, which has currently been a most important factor, and presently government of India does not allow any external power, in fact even Palestine or any other external power, to even speak a word on Kashmir. When we talk about the similar issues, even we all are aware that even Turkey or Malaysia or sometimes even Egypt or sometimes even Palestine also, all these states or all these authorities, they have been in a position to support the cause of Pakistan only on the behest of the religious ground, and therefore India is continuously making its stance harder as compared to the earlier when it comes to some disputed matter. Apart from that, both India as well as Israel, both of them are having the right wing government at the center. In India, it is a BJP government which supports the nationalism, which supports the tough resistance to the terrorism, mainly the religious terrorism, or we can say the terrorism which is the justified in the name of religion. That type of terrorism is equally devastated by both India as well as Israel. Both the countries have got such leaders who are very polarizing in their characters. Either they are immensely popular among their supporters, or they are hated by their opponents. So these all qualities, particularly the personal bonding between the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the personal bonding has played a very great role in bringing the unprecedented proximity between India and Israel. Therefore, this is the most crucial statement probably to understand the scaling of Indo-Palestine relations. So guys, that is all in this session, and I hope that you loved the content of this session. If you like this session, do not forget to share it with your friends, and make it sure that in case if you are preparing for the civil services examination, you can enroll for our batch 1, which is going to start from the 15th of October. And these are the evening batches where you will be given a lot of beneficial features, including the regular classes and preparation, apart from the dedicated handwritten notes and one-to-one doubt solving and everything else which is required to make the examination successful for you. So guys, make it sure that if you want the content of this class or any particular class, you can also join my Telegram channel. And suggest me in the comments that I should be bringing the similar relation, similar trace of journey of the Indo-Israeli relations or not, because I'm thinking to bring another session where I would be tracing the entire journey of Indo-Israeli relations. In fact, it would be beginning not just in 1947-48. It would be beginning thousands of years back, because India has been the place to the Jews community since a very long period in history. So let us meet in the next lecture. Till then, take care guys, and do not forget to hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind.